Match day 25 in the books. League leaders Liverpool keep on rolling this week with a couple of victories. Elsewhere, Man City play their game in hand. They slip up against Chelsea, drawing at home. Arsenal still rolling, winning 11-0 on aggregate in the last two games. Man U, as Sam would say, second half of the year, title charge. They just keep winning and cannot be stopped. Elsewhere at the bottom of the table, we have some movement. Everton out of the relegation zone. Cover all that was from match day 25 and the couple remaining games that were played during the week. This is the Premiership Russell Podcast.
Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs. And the ball in behind Damian Vardy! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start, the game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
You know, Sam, it's not convenient when it can't just be match day 25 and it's crisp and clean. They have to throw these stupid little remainder games out there, and then I have to add that to it, you know?
Well, looking at the sidebar, it says they're all under match week 25, so that's good enough for me.
That's all that matters. Even though technically we have the first game of match week 26 with Liverpool Luton, but that's, like you said, that doesn't matter. That don't matter to me.
Still shows it under match week 25.
Well, good. That's
So,
that's all that
doesn't
matters.
matter. Nothing matters.
True.
Except life, death. Brentford versus Liverpool. First game of the match week. Starting off early. This one, Brentford, I thought they looked decent in the first half. They were kind of playing counterattack. Liverpool looking to get forward as well. A little bit of a slower start as per usual from Liverpool. They did have a couple chances with the double save being made from Flecken. And then Ivan Toney having a chance on the counter. It was kind of a weird half because there were a couple injuries. First one, Curtis Jones having to be subbed off. And then shortly after that, Liverpool scored the first goal of the game. Darwizi Habibi on the counterattack after a long set piece from Brentford. Just kind of catching Brentford sleeping on the defense on that one.
Sleeping.
Yeah, it was a really nice header from Jota to play Darwin Núñez through, who scored with a nice chip that he managed to not actually hit the post this time.
It was a beautiful chip. He doesn't make it easy, ever.
That's true.
It's never easy with that lad, so that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. After that, another big injury just before halftime. Diego Jota having to get subbed off. On comes Mohamed Salah.
Brutal. Jota going to be out for months, closer to weeks, right? Or months rather than weeks?
Months, 8 weeks or something.
Yeah.
That lad just can't stay fit. That is for sure.
Yeah, after winning Player of the Month.
Cursed him. Big chance just before halftime to double the lead for Liverpool, but Salah can't get the control on the ball. He looked a little bit rusty. A couple of his touches.
To be expected.
Goes in halftime, 1-0. Second half, Liverpool don't take too long to double the lead. This time winning the ball in midfield, moving forward quickly with Mo Salah threading a pass to McAllister. Showed good control and footwork to get the space for the shot off and the nice finish. Brentford really didn't have a whole lot going on in the second half. Didn't help on the third goal, some just god-awful defending from Ben Mee and Nathan Collins. And I think I'm out on Nathan Collins. I think he just kind of sucks.
You're not feeling Nathan Collins?
No, he looks like a deer on ice out there for some reason. He just makes the most boneheaded mistakes.
He might be good if he just set up in a low block, but unfortunately that's not Brentford. It's one of those things where it's kind of weird because Wolves were kind of thought to be a smart team a few years ago, and they signed him. And they didn't pay that much for him. You're like, oh, 20 mil, young defender, kind of like that. And then Brentford go out and pay virtually the same amount. There's something weird when like Wolves sold them after 1 year of having him. They're just like, no. And now you might say,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's financial because Wolves' finances suck. But I don't know. That was even before those reports ever came out. So I would
Right.
just be weary.
There's
You
something
gotta
to
always
it.
kind of be weary when younger guys, when clubs, smaller clubs are like, great, 20 mil. It's like, wait, what? No, that seems weird.
Yeah.
Unless it's like clearly the poor or the poorly run clubs that don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress.
After that, Brentford pull one back through Ivan Toney, capitalizing on the rebound from Reguilon. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Losing my Reguilon.
That was
Quality
a good
meme
one.
for those who haven't seen that one. And then Liverpool capping it off. Mistakes out of Collins and Goros at the back allow for Cody Gakpo to add a fourth. Another mistake.
Cody
from Nathan
Gakpo kind of stepping up. Gakpo stepping up in the midweek game too, so it's kind of
Yeah.
a sight to behold for Liverpool. They really need it from him to say the least, especially if Jota's going to be out. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
huge. What were your thoughts? Ivan Toney could add another penalty call. They said no. The
Uh,
refs.
yeah, I can't remember it off the top of my head if I'm being honest.
I think it was Bobertson kind of took him out. It didn't really matter, but people were upset just for the principle that it wasn't called.
Yeah.
Yeah. It one of those games where again it was a game, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah. Didn't matter. Liverpool.
Next game didn't really matter either, but what
Yeah.
are you gonna do?
Yeah. Comfortable
I
game for
mean,
Liverpool, and then Burnley versus Arsenal next game.
yes. Yeah. Any closing thoughts on Liverpool or Brentford? I mean, Brentford's just always kind of hit or miss once in a while.
Yeah, I think it just a couple things went against them and kind of got out of hand for
Yeah.
Brentford.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like if Brentford are playing a team mid-table and lower, they always have a chance to win. Right now, just given their current setup and injury situation and what they're looking like, I don't know. It's tough to challenge against the top teams right now for them, even with Ivan Toney back
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Neil Maupay up top, the man in form.
Absolutely. What a legend. Neil Mopey.
Is anyone in form on Burnley?
The answer to that is absolutely not.
No, because we're back-to-back games where Fofana did nothing, unfortunately. He might be their player of the year, though. I'll say that much. He had 3 games where he got a goal or assist, so good for him.
Yeah.
He's in the running.
That's right. That is right.
You
All
you
right.
laugh. I'm not. So
Into the
go.
game.
Yeah.
Arsenal
Get this over with.
didn't waste too much time. Martin Odegaard just being allowed way too much space at the top of the box, able to just rip a shot for the quick 1-0 lead. After that, Burnley, they're like, yeah, we're going to play on the counter, but like not really. So
That
that
requires having an attacking presence and quick link-up play and stuff like that, and they have none of that. So
yeah, that didn't really work out too well. I mean, there was space there, but they just never really capitalized on it. From an Arsenal perspective, it was just kind of working the ball. It was a little bit slower at times, but eventually, 41st minute, Trossard brought down in the box for a penalty. Thought it wasn't like the most clear-cut penalty, but anyways, Saka stepping up, converts the penalty, goes into halftime. 2-0 Arsenal in cruise control. And they go further in cruise control just after halftime. Again, Saka scoring, this time assisted by Martin Odegaard. 66th minute, Trossard finally scored. He had like 9 million chances. Probably should have scored a hat trick.
Yeah, well, he scored and then he got subbed off, so that's all that matters.
Yes.
He scored before the big substitutions. I don't know how your guy Mick Arteta could take off Saka in a 4-0 game against Burnley. You gotta leave him out there.
Yeah, especially with Champions League midweek, you got to put him in
Put
full
him through
90.
the ringer. Yeah.
Yeah, after that,
Were you scared when J-Rod came on that it might become a game or no?
I mean, he at least looked like he gave like an ounce of care. So, I mean, I respect that.
You know who cared was Kai Havertz. Cared so much that he said, I'm gonna nutmeg. Nutmeg whoever that was. I don't even know who it was. Doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter who it was.
Yeah, just totally wrecked him.
Oh, sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, finishes up 5-0. Another easy victory for Arsenal, stacking the crooked numbers away from home. They're hot. 2024.
They're hot. You won't believe that they're in the title race.
Well, they're
Especially
not.
now that they're dropping out of the Champions League.
That's why they're so good, is because there's no pressure on them.
Well, yeah. Also, Burnley suck.
Burnley does suck. They, for some reason, just thought, hey, we'll stick together 9 million random young guys, and that'll somehow work.
I don't know. Someone's got to explain something to me when these Premier League takes start coming in each year. It's gonna happen next year, especially if Leeds end up getting promoted. It's gonna be like people are just like, oh yeah, no, just pencil them in to do well. It's like,
Is
yeah,
Daniel
well,
Farke the best manager in the Premier League?
and then they have, I don't even know who they still have. Junior Firpo's playing, and then I'm like, nope. Liam Cooper playing out of the back. It's like, nope.
Willie Nonto.
Yeah. At least he's solid. Same with Somerville, but no one on Burnley. No faith. Get him out of my face.
They are pretty terrible.
Yeah, send him down now. Fulham Villa, though.
Yes.
Fulham made us look stupid.
This was a
What were
better
they doing?
game, but yeah, Fulham, they disappointed. They started off the match looking the sharper side. I was thinking, you know what? Here they go. Fulham, they're going to do it. They did score 20 minutes in. Tim Ream from a set piece, but was nearly offside, disallowed.
Disallowed. Brutal.
And then just a couple minutes later, Aston Villa get on the board after a horrendous throw-in from Anthony Robinson, just straight towards his own attacking third, right down the middle of the field. Easy for Ollie Watkins to get on and to capitalize on that mistake, making it 1-0, kind of against the run of play there. After that...
Yeah, and Watkins really kind of getting back in form now, not just this game, but just in general. Kind of getting the... he doesn't need like a ton of service because he can make a lot happen on his own, but he at least needs the ball.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's his team, the other team, just give him the ball, he'll score. That he did in this game. After that, a couple chances for Aston Villa as the pendulum kind of swung in their favor. Leon Bailey had a chance from outside the box, hit the bar. And then Alex Moreno scored from a corner, but was a very, very tightly offside.
Yeah, that was a close one.
some
there.
controversy on the lines being drawn there and whatnot.
Isn't there always? Don't you always question what the geometry and whatnot is with that stuff?
Yes. Before the end of the first half, there's a big chance for both sides. Muniz had a header go just wide from a corner. And then Yuri Tielemans nearly threw on goal, but Bernlino snuffing out that chance. It was in halftime, 1-0 Villa with the lead. Second half, I thought Villa, or rather Fulham, were the better side once again to start the half. But it was Villa who got the second goal. Tielemans threading just a perfect ball to Ollie Watkins, who scores with a nice finish. But Fulham did make it interesting. They pulled one back in the 63rd minute. They go simple. They go long to Robinson. Crosses to Muniz. Gets in
Near
behind.
post.
Yeah. Just kind of gets in front of Emi Martinez to toe poke it in.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, it seemed too easy for Muniz there. Maybe a little mix up in the defense with Emi Martinez. After that, potential penalty not given for Ollie Watkins after him and Issa Diop collided in the box. And Fulham put on the pressure. They tried to grab the equalizer. Some chances through Harry Wilson and Alex Iwobi. And then a late chance for Adama Traore, one-on-one with the keeper.
Yes.
Would you believe it? He
Yes.
can't score.
Doesn't score. That's why he's at Fulham.
And that's how it ends. 2-1. A good win for Villa. Fulham, you probably would have hoped for more, given the
You would have hoped for
performance.
more, but yeah, I mean, you say the performance was good, but it was,
It was decent.
yeah. Yeah. They were better than Villa, but by Fulham standards and what we've seen at their pinnacle this year, it could have been better. But yeah, I mean, they definitely were the better side in this one, but just not enough. I think we just cursed them by calling them home merchants, and they said, "Watch this."
Might just be non-merchants.
Yeah, the merchants of none.
All right, moving on to the next
It
game.
might also be Newcastle now.
Yeah,
The merchants of none. I don't know what they're good at.
the merchants of disappointment.
Probably
Newcastle.
that's a good one.
Well, just like the first game between these two sides, it was pretty entertaining. Game started pretty open from both sides. Not a whole lot of possession in the midfield, just kind of going back and forth at one another. Both teams looking to hit on the counter. Some early chances for Bournemouth. Kluivert squaring a ball to Solanke, having his shot saved. And then once again in the 24th minute, big chance, but he's denied again by Dubravka. After that, Newcastle adding some pressure onto Bournemouth before halftime. Almiron had a chance, but just wide from distance, but unable to capitalize on that.
Yeah, Newcastle's attack in this game, especially the first half, was just very lackluster.
Yeah.
For the fact that they held the ball a pretty decent amount and they still just were not able to do a whole lot with it. It feels like it's just been lackluster for a while. It feels like they're still better on the counter than in possession. But even last year when they were clicking and a half year before, in possession, they were still able to whip balls in and kind of gave you a chance. But front three of Barnes, Gordon, and Almiron, whipping balls in, it's not going to be the same as Wilson or Isak in there. So can't expect it to be as good as normal. That's fair, I guess.
Yeah. Absolutely. So it goes into halftime, 0-0, second half. Early chance for Almiron. It goes just over the bar. And then Bournemouth capitalize on a big mistake from Dubravka. A big slip, allowing Dom Solanke to pick up an easy goal, take the 1-0 lead.
Yeah,
Not too
Big
long.
Dom, for whatever reason, rumored to West Ham. I don't know why he would be. Why
Yeah,
he might as well hold out for a big move to top 6 team at that point.
yeah, I don't think that's really big enough of a step up for the quality that he can provide.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were just talking about this last week with him and Tony, and people are like, "Oh, I don't know if he's Chelsea or Arsenal quality." It's like we're not even like we're 3/4 of the way through the year, and these guys have like 15. Well, Tony doesn't because he's suspended, but 15 goals. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me, especially for a guy who has pedigree and prestige coming from Chelsea and then Liverpool. But what do I know?
Yeah. But after that, just a few minutes later, Newcastle are awarded a penalty after a shirt pull from Adam Smith on Fabian Schär from a set piece. The review took so long. I hate these
Yeah,
penalties personally when you call stuff like this on set pieces because it happens on like every play.
all the time. Yeah.
Um,
Almost
but
happened in the Chelsea City game towards the end. There's a slight pull by Colwell on, I don't remember, it was Diaz or something like that. I'm like, if they give this, I'm gonna like lose my mind because it just shouldn't be called.
yeah, just doesn't seem right. But anyways, Anthony Gordon stepping up converts that penalty to make it 1-1. After that, there was nearly an own goal from Marco Senesi from the cross from Bruno G. But Bournemouth hit on the counter for a second goal. Semenyo scores with a great finish from the edge of the box. Absolute class counterattack and finishing there from Bournemouth. They're looking to hold on for the victory. But you know what? Matt Ritchie had other ideas.
Just comes on.
The former Bournemouth man himself, Matt Ritchie.
It's potentially known as the Matt Ritchie Derby, and it might have to be now.
Exactly. Scores from a set piece to rescue a
It
point
was
for
weird because
Newcastle.
the initial shot like deflected off him right off the goalie and then back right to him, and he rips it home.
Yeah, a little
So
bit of fortune there.
yeah, you say fortune, I say Neto is trash, and our guy, what's his name? The Romanian guy, he would have had it.
Radu,
Radu.
he would have had it.
He would have had it, no doubt. He catches those all the time. It's a specialty. Yeah, good. Honestly, going into the game, good result for Bournemouth. Uh, Performance for both teams kind of lacked to be desired, even though, like you said, it was an entertaining game, but it just wasn't super sharp.
Yeah.
From either side, especially the defenses were, oof, not great. But 2-2 draw definitely suits Bournemouth more than Newcastle. Newcastle, I don't know. I wouldn't say like running out of time to get in a European place because they're 1 point off 7th from Brighton, but I feel better about Brighton right now than Newcastle. But I guess if Newcastle just get a couple more guys healthy, maybe I'm feeling better. Who knows?
Yes.
Any thoughts on Newcastle or Bournemouth going
Yeah,
forward?
I think Newcastle just haven't been able to put together the pieces with the constant injuries. I think for sure the striker position it's time to move on from Callum Wilson. He just can't stay fit enough, to the point that he can be a viable second choice.
Yeah, I mean they really should just be looking for a second choice because they have Isak who's first choice, and even though he gets hurt a good amount,
Tom
it wouldn't be
Solanke,
bad. Be a bit over the top. Maybe they buy back Chris Wood.
Chris Wood.
You know who wouldn't be bad, and I don't know if he would just relegate himself to this, and it also kind of depends on what Newcastle look like. But if maybe just Calvert-Lewin's a backup, maybe he's just a backup. I don't know
Perhaps.
for a good team. Like, what if he was a backup at like Tottenham or Newcastle, second choice?
I don't know the last time I watched Calvert-Lewin play and I was like, you know what? He looks pretty good.
He doesn't. That is my point.
Feel like
So
it's
maybe he's
been
not
at
even good
least
enough to
like
be a
3
backup.
years.
Maybe he's got to be a backup on like Luton. What was I gonna say for a name? I was gonna throw something out there. Now I forgot.
I want you.
For the life of me,
Add
one.
another injured striker.
He's cooking too much to go to there. Maybe they get Broya or something in the summer. I have no clue. Broya can't play because Muniz is just amazing.
He's cooking.
Yeah. This Fulham might just be like second half of the year they find their striker for no reason. Last year was Solomon popping off for a little bit, and then Vinicius came on and was killing it.
Yeah.
Now it's Muniz. Um, yeah, that's enough for that one. What was
Oh,
next? Forest. Speaking
Forest
of
West
Awani,
Ham. This was. I didn't watch all the games,
did you
but this was
sniff it out?
probably one of the worst ones. I'm pretty sure I called a Forest win.
I think you did. I'm pretty sure I called a draw, and you called the
I
Forest
saw
win.
West Ham after that 6-0. I was like, this
I
team.
think I'm gonna jinx West Ham this week by placing a wager on Brentford.
I don't know, man.
And sure enough, West Ham will show up.
They're looking pretty rough. They are looking rough, man. All
Oh.
right, let's get into the game.
Yeah.
The first half, there was just like not much going on. You know, if you could
No.
believe both sides of attacks look pretty bad.
It's really tough when these teams that don't want to hold the ball, someone's got to hold the ball. At least this game is funny. It kind of came out like 50-50 in possession, but
Yeah.
it wasn't pretty.
No, and you know, West Ham, they just look so bad. Mikel Antonio,
Why
like,
was he playing?
can we
Why was he playing?
please stop?
Why was he playing?
He is so bad. And they're just their formation, you know, this Ward-Prowse, Phillips, Alvarez.
I don't know what Moyes is going for.
That's one too
At
many
least this game, Ward
sentiments.
Prowse was a little more like advanced, but I guess he's been advanced for a while. It's the Calvin Phillips thing really doesn't work.
Yes. He should not be playing, and thankfully he won't be playing in the next game.
Well,
He's just been awful. But anyways,
yeah.
Forest do find a goal just before halftime.
Nice pass by Dominguez is perfectly timed with Awani.
Yeah, and a very nice turn from Awani to fire home for the opening goal to take it into halftime 1-0. Second half, a little bit more action, some chances for Forest to add a second goal.
Did you see what his shirt said when he took off the shirt for the goal, Sally?
It was like a damn paragraph. I couldn't read it all. Some Bible
it said, "Donate,
verses.
subscribe, or get the fuck out to the Premiership Perusal Podcast." That's what
And
it said.
I need a Photoshop of that.
That's what it said on his shirt. It just wasn't in English. So
Yeah, exactly.
that was his problem. We paid him to do it, but then he did it in his own native language, and we said, "Oh, well, that's not what we had in mind."
That's actually my favorite verse in the Bible. Donate, subscribe, or get the fuck out. Book of Perusal, chapter 20, verse 21.
The book of Awani.
Book of Awani. So, like I was
What
saying,
happened in the second half, Sam?
Forest,
Besides Calvin Phillips red.
they had some better chances. Still didn't look super threatening. Areola made a couple saves. And yes, the peak of the second half. Calvin Phillips getting 2 yellow cards in the span of 3 minutes. For just
Not even good fouls, too.
Yeah, terrible fouls. Just idiotic.
Just not even good fouls. It was unfortunate.
Yeah. And he's sent off. Very deserved. And it's like, this guy is just trying to be hated as much as possible. You know, people were trying to give him a chance, like, oh, you know, maybe he's still good.
And no.
No, he is just completely
He got paid.
spiraled.
He lost his confidence. Injuries. It's just not good. At his height, he was pretty solid. Yeah, England squad.
He was.
Yeah, but
I was
sometimes you only have 3 years to go, and
I was right there
you
thinking
did.
this will be a good move for him. He can play. He'll get right back to where he was. That is not the case. He is
Yeah,
a different
West Ham,
man.
especially West Ham, really been hitting the loans pretty well so far, but not this one.
Yeah, he just
Not
keeps
this time.
making these stupid tackles. He gives away the ball and then just commits bad fouls, gets yellow cards.
He might have to be a guy that goes to France for a bit. One of those like Ross Barkley, Aaron Ramsey kind of moves.
He's going to Turkey. Calling it now.
More than likely, yeah. Fenerbahce is calling. Besiktas. Which team is the real question?
Trabzonspor.
Okay, I'll put my
So-
money on Besiktas. They're 2-1 odds. Definitely not Galatasaray. Doesn't seem like a Galatasaray kind of guy.
No, definitely not.
Oh, speaking of Galatasaray, what about Wilf to Newcastle? There's a little backup. What do you think about that?
Is that a rumor? Or did
No,
you
I just made
make
it up
that
in my head. I just made it up in my head on the spot. It's probably like a 2 out of 10 rumor, but hey, we could get it going.
Get it going. Tweet it. Tweet it, fans.
I've
Tweet it.
I've seen worse rumors, but yeah, and then your guy Sam Callan Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, finishing off. A nice move from Nico Williams.
Is Alonga? I mean, he hasn't been playing that well lately, or goal assist wise. He's been okay performance wise, but he's really clicking earlier this year. Has he kind of exceeded your expectations for what you thought at the beginning of the year when you were high on him?
I think it's just like we found his level, which is like not that good, but can offer some production. I mean, 2 minutes before the goal, he had a one-on-one with the keeper, and then just had like the worst shot ever. So that didn't inspire me too much, but he can score. He can offer his pace down the wing and pick up an assist or two.
Even though West Ham didn't really do anything in attack in this game, they probably had like 2 or 3 shots that actually were on target. Clean sheet for the newly signed Mr. Sells. So we'll see how that goes. But
That's true.
yeah, not very tested. Even Vlachodimos had a clean sheet at one point, so it means nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So that wraps up that game. Forest, it's a good 3 points to pick up against a floundering West Ham side.
Reeling West Ham.
Reeling indeed.
Down to 9th, -8 goal differential. Did you? Well, you had to have seen it because I sent it to you. What Moyes said after the game.
Yes.
I mean, he's not wrong, but it's also one of those things where it's like when you're struggling and you're just like, you know what? Look what I've done for this team. Where were you before? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, okay, but also the criticism right now is valid because your team stinks.
It's the classic, you're not wrong, you're just an asshole.
Yeah, something like that.
The Big Lebowski. I mean, that obviously he's taken them to,
He's won
new
them a
heights.
trophy.
Won them a European
Won them a
trophy.
European trophy, yeah.
But it can't be denied that they are playing absolutely god awful.
Yeah.
But you know who isn't playing absolutely god awful?
Gaz's men.
Gaz's men. Oh, what a club.
I'm glad that people are finally on the Gary O'Neill's underrated. I mean, he's been like severely underrated for a long time. But,
True. We were there. They won.
We've
they
been
won
in
Gaz
we're in the
O'Neill's.
trenches. Yeah, the Gaz O'Neill's.
In the cherry trenches.
Your boy Richarlison's kind of fallen out of form again, Sam.
Yeah.
He didn't do a whole lot this game.
No, the Tottenham attack just
I thought
hasn't.
Kulusevski was fine.
Yeah, he's kind of been the one
scores,
spot.
but Madison, ever since coming back from injury, hasn't been as proficient in terms of player of the year quality, but he hasn't been like bad. Son has really kind of dipped too, but he just came back obviously from the Asian Cup, so it's like you give him a pass. It's kind of just a weird transition. for them right now, and they've been grinding results with Brendan Johnson and Timo Werner. And it's like any semblance of getting a guy like Kulishevsky, Madison, or Sun back, like you just have to go in the lineup. Not dealing with Brendan Johnson and Werner at the moment, if you can.
Yeah. So the first half, not a whole lot of action in terms of chance creation. It was a lot of Tottenham possessing the ball, Wolves looking to hit on the counter as you would expect, but Tottenham really struggling to break down Wolves. They were defending very astutely, I would say. Big moment in the first half comes just before halftime. João Gomez with an excellent corner.
What was
Headed
that?
goal. Just
João
fantastic.
Gomez.
João Gomez. Excellent header from the corner.
That
take
was
the
an
lead.
absolute
It was
blast. A
class.
missile off his head.
You don't see headers like that every day, especially
No.
these days. Back in the day maybe, but not these days.
Especially midfielder getting up, getting in the box. Just
Yeah.
boff right off the forehead.
We're not talking about Chris Wood here.
Yeah. True.
So Wolves go into half with a 1-0 lead, but Tottenham get a goal right on the other side of halftime. Kulishevsky, like you said, weaving through the Wolves box and finishes nicely to draw level. After that, both teams had some chances. Sarabia had a chance, but had a weak attempt, resulting in a fairly comfortable save from Vicario. And then Kulishevsky testing Jose Sa with a nice low save there. But a few minutes after that, Wolves hit on the counter lightning quick. Neto finding João Gomez to take the lead.
It was all about that Pedro Neto just dusting Tottenham's backline, which is not easy.
Lightning
Not
quick
easy. They
dust.
got fast guys, and he was dusting them. Little square ball, and João Gomez just blast 2 of the prettiest goals you'll ever see for a brace. I know a lot of people, when they think of Premier League braces, they think of Cisse with his crazy wonder goals, but for just like semi-reasonable, normal goals, these are very nice goals.
Very nice goals. Some great counter-attacking play out of Wolves there. And that's just kind of the risk that Tottenham was taking throughout this whole game. They were pushing the back line up. That's how they want to play. We've seen it all year. You know what? You play with fire, sometimes you get burnt.
Yep.
They got burnt in this game. There was a big chance at the death, 90+4 for Mr. Ben Davis. 6 yards out. Free header. Couldn't even get it on target. That was probably their best chance to draw level. Wolves walk away with all 3 points. Huge win on the road for Wolves. Disappointing
Wolves
for Tottenham.
doing the double over Chelsea and Tottenham this year. How about that?
That's big. That's big. Gaz O'Neill.
Yeah.
Got him playing well.
True. Great performance by Wolves. Terrific result. You could just tell that these players just go so hard for Gaz. It's great to see. I think there should just be a rule where Gaz has to have a new team every year, though. That's my thing. I think he should have to be.
He
just
comes and
on a
saves
new
the team.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it should be. I think next year he's gonna take over like Nottingham Forest, make him into like the 9th place team, and then he just leaves and he goes to like West Ham, and they're just moving him around.
I was going to say Everton, but they'll be in the championship.
Well, you know that right now they're sitting in 17th, brother.
It's getting close.
It's squeaky bum time. Has been for about the whole year. Speaking of squeaky bum time, Man City, bros, I don't feel so good. Man City and Chelsea.
But Chelsea,
No one gave Chelsea a chance, including myself, as we should not have. To the game, Chelsea set up very, very nicely. When they were on the ball, they didn't look panicked like they had against when they were at Old Trafford, when they were at Anfield. any of the bigger games this year where they look kind of panicky on the ball. This game they looked a lot more comfortable. I think part of it is atmosphere, because the Tottenham game was a big game too, but there's not much atmosphere at their stadium, no matter how hard they try and push it. And we know about the Etihad. It might be full, but it's just not. I'm getting.
It
at,
allows
Sam.
me the empty hat in spirit. That's for sure.
Yeah. So in this game, a lot of it came down to Haaland not taking his chances for the most part. Had a few good ones. Chelsea able to counterattack fairly nicely in this one. They're constantly in behind. Even once in a while when they'd have like an extended, period of possession for 2-3 minutes, they just eventually settle on popping one over the back line, and a lot of times they were in behind. I think that was what was surprising. We get to the goal. Raheem Sterling on the counter. Great ball by Nicholas Jackson, actually. He might just be a winger. He might not even be a striker, Nicholas Jackson. He might just be a winger. I don't know what he is, but it was a great pass. Sterling, a nice little cutback. Walker goes flying, and then Sterling curls it into the bottom corner. Sterling and Jackson both had good chances earlier, but they were saved by Ederson. Right before half, Man City have one or two chances. Penalty shout for Haaland and Man City, but no call. Which is weird because it's virtually the same penalty in the first game that City and Chelsea played, where Haaland was like kind of dragged down at the back post and it was called. So I thought that was weird. Chelsea going to halftime, 1-0. Second half, Chelsea, a couple really good chances early to start. Again, just getting through. I mean, Man City, like they were holding their line well, I guess, like in terms of shape, but the width is just an issue with them. They get too narrow. You given that much space out wide for Malagusto to swing those crosses in, and then it just comes down to if Ederson could make the save, which he did in a couple of these cases. After that, Man City are really kind of piling it on, but I didn't feel great about any of their chances. It kept falling to Rodri or Haaland, which I guess it could fall to worse people, but anytime it was extended possession, it really felt like it was just Doku like kind of trying to dribble and he couldn't do anything. It's just I was not really worried for Chelsea's sake. Did you feel the same way in this, or what did you think watching City?
They just didn't look at their best. That is for sure. I mean, yeah, playing through Doku, we've seen so far this season. It just, I mean, at times it looks flashy, but the end result is just never any substance.
Yeah. Couple big chances for Holland in the second half. I think it was like the 75th minute was that free header that I don't know how that went wide. That was what Sam would call divine intervention for the sake of Chelsea. Quote Pulp Fiction. And then Rodri with an absolute pile driver. Chalobah tries to block it, but it goes off his leg and in. It would have went in anyways. Makes it 1-1. That guy, he always pops up.
Always.
Yep. Towards the end of the game, Chelsea at one or two counters doesn't really result in much. Chelsea really bailed out because City kind of had him on the ropes and had a little bit of momentum. And Kyle Walker lines up a 40-yard shot and just skies it for absolutely no reason. Man thought he was Vincent Kompany against Leicester or something out here. So
Pep sips water aggressively.
yeah. Then at the very end, potential penalty shout for Diaz, not called after review. Chelsea had to play another corner and cleared it out. Finishes 1-1. People really not impressed with the performance by Chelsea for the most part. Was kind of shocking. I thought just even a young team going on the road playing that well, I thought it was fine. A lot of people took it negative, said, "Oh, well, City should have probably won 4-1." I guess, but also Chelsea had some good chances to put the game up 2-0. And if it goes up 2-0, then City aren't getting anything. So, thought thought 1-1 was relatively fair. City, just like you said, were not on it. They just weren't. Simple as.
Those people that are criticizing Chelsea have not watched Chelsea play at all this season.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's people like Tim Sherwood, and it's like, okay,
All right,
you're
tactics,
irrelevant.
Tim.
Yeah. The Colwill and Disasi pairing like has to be like that. They have to play. They have to play. You can't play Thiago Silva at all unless it's a sub. I don't know what to tell you. For those two guys to go out there and play as well as they did and hold their own, yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? Disasi was amazing as the man of the match. It's fantastic. Anything else before we move on?
Liverpool back in the title race.
They never left. They never left.
Tell you not who's not is Arsenal.
I'll tell you who's not. It's fucking Sheffield United.
That is
That's
for
who's
sure.
not. They are not. They came out to play Brighton and Hove Albion. I tell you what, Sam. In the first minute, Sheffield had a good chance, and it was saved by Bart. And after that, they didn't do anything, and it was all downhill. We'll start off with the fact. Well, I guess Brighton's first chance was a counterattack, and it was almost an own goal. So that's where we were at in this game. We knew right off the bat that Sheffield were going to be poop. And then we have Matoma absolutely cooking up the wing, and Mason Holgate said, "I'm going to take you out right at your kneecap."
Proper Brexit ball.
What's funny about that play is how many people just like were so quick to be like, "Oh, is this the worst tackle ever?" And they're like, "How did the ref not call this a red right away?" Even the announcers were like, "Oh, it looked like he got the ball from up here." Like it was at a weird angle where you couldn't really tell, and then that one replay was like, "Oh my god!" He like literally put his boot like on his kneecap.
Yeah.
You couldn't really tell. So, as much as I crap on referees and stuff, I, you know, I
Sometimes
guess
you
I'll
don't
give him a
have the
pass for
angle.
that because I couldn't really see it. It was at like the far angle to where it was facing like out of bounds. But yeah, clear red. Mason Holgate sent off. We talked about him last week. How he's the first guy to um, debut for two teams in a year, and they both were 5-0 losses. They come out here and get another 5-0 loss.
This guy's cooking.
He's absolutely cooking as a defender. Brighton really kind of piling it on, really pinned Sheffield in. I think Brighton had one chance off a open play where it got deflected out for a corner, and then off the ensuing corner, Brighton turned it in. It's Buenanote headed on from dunk, and it was like pinging around, went off Fodderingham, ends up in the back of the net. Shortly after, Brighton, another nice little passing sequence, works his way to Welbeck, who just absolutely roofs it. Sheffield able to stop the bleeding for a bit, making a sub, make a couple changes. Had a corner to where they scored right before half, but the goal was disallowed. Ben Osborne was absolutely upset for the fact that he got robbed of a goal because his teammates were offside / holding the other team / there's like 3 fouls in the sequence, so it didn't matter. Goes in the halftime, 2-0. Brighton very comfortable, just sitting on the ball, holding the ball. They get a third. Matoma up the wing, crossing it in. Jack Robinson with a own goal, just taps it in, couldn't even clear it. And then about 2 minutes later, Adingra, nice little move, slots it in, makes it 4, and then Adingra with another off a crazy weird deflection. It was very odd. And Evan Ferguson with the clear could steal the goal and farm a tap in, but he lets it go in for Adingra. Ends up being 5-0. I mean, I think we just got spoiled last year with the relegation race. Like Southampton, we had a good feeling we're going down, but there's still the slightest bit of like, until February or March. I mean, we felt pretty good about Sheffield and Burnley going down for a while now. So like Sheffield, I
Yes.
think we were ready in September.
Yeah,
We were just like, there's no way
there's nothing. They haven't shown anything.
any
That's like,
semblance. Yeah, it relied on 2 weeks of Ben Barrett and Diaz for a
yeah, that was
masterclass.
it.
Um, yeah, Brighton. You know, I just don't like De Zerbi. I'll just say it now. Like him celebrating up 2-0 against 10 men Sheffield the way he was, like fist pumping and stuff.
Yeah,
Please stop.
let's calm
What are
down.
you doing? Act like you've been there before. You brought Brighton to Europe and you're out here fist pumping against Sheffield when you're up. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, doesn't
Um,
he know Jurgen Klopp invented the fist pump?
well, Liverpool in general invented everything,
They
so
invented the celebration.
yeah, they invented
Yeah, where's the
beating.
celebration police for De Zerbi?
They
Come
don't
on.
care. They're humble, small club, bro. Passion merchants, dude.
Yeah, get that man to Real Madrid.
He's going to Barca.
Barca, Real Madrid at the same time.
It's gonna be crazy. He's managing El Clasico. He's hovering above the ground. Um,
Fist pumping.
moving on, because there's nothing to really take away from that game. Man U Luton. I'll tell you what, Sam. Man U, they
High
didn't even
times.
play good for like 10 minutes in this game. But I tell you what, got another win. Um, Luton right off the bat, start off with the ball, go down, kind of put a little bit of pressure on inside the first 20 seconds. Hoofed upfield, absolutely terrible sideways pass, back pass by Luton, and it goes right to Hoyland. Runs in. Kaminsky 1-on-1, nothing he can do. Hoyland scores.
6
Makes
straight
it,
games.
yeah, makes it 1-0. And then Man U with another chance. They get a little bit of counterattack action going. They get a corner here. Goes out, falls to Garnacho, edge of the box, takes a shot that's going to go probably wide. Maybe it hits the post, but uh, it deflects off Hoyland's chest and goes all the way to the far post and in to make it 2-0. You know, the guy couldn't catch a break earlier. Now he's catching all the breaks, so evens out for him.
Oh, the
That's what
cookie
happens when you're
crumbles.
hot. Yeah. They're up 2-0. After that, Luton kind of settled down, start playing well. But even when they settled down, it was more Man U just like kind of got out of rhythm when they had to hold the ball. It was a lot of like Kobe Mino passing sideways to guys who were open, and then whoever it fell to, it was like they couldn't really play a good pass or they just turn it over instantly. It's very, very odd. Um, Luton do get one back though. Carlton Morris heads one home right around Onana. Um, I don't know. I guess he could have saved it, but not really. Makes it 1-2. Um, and then yeah, a lot of it was kind of Luton turning Man U over in midfield and kind of counterattacking. Casemiro got a yellow card, escaped another one. Should have been sent off in the first half. Couple of tactical fouls, like Maguire's yellow, he got caught out. Well, not really him, but Man U's defense and midfield got caught out where Luton are able to counterattack on, from 30 yards out. And it's like, geez, Louise. Bruno had to be so far back in this game for build-up play. It just was not good. I don't really remember Rashford doing anything until the second half, so it just was not a great game for United. Very grinded out kind of performance, but they were able to do it. Second half, United did look a little better to start. Created one or two chances, but it's really kind of Luton pushing towards the end. It's just crazy, Luton outpossessing United in this game, like 59-41. It's what it
United in
ended up being.
2024.
Yeah, Luton outshot United 22-21. So, Luton did end up hitting the post too, which is just like, geez. So, the very end, I thought United defensively actually looked pretty good in the second half to hold their shape and stuff. Varane and Maguire did pretty solid. So, Finishes 2-1. Can't bet against United in February, Sam.
That's
Can't
true.
do it. Not gonna be able to do it.
The
So
Chad
even the Happy
continues.
Hatters couldn't do it. So, yes. Well, moving on. The last game of technically this match week, but not really because there were still more games. Everton and Crystal Palace, Sam.
The
This
one
was
we've all
a
been
game.
waiting for.
This was a game. I will tell you that much. Everton having to hold possession. Not a pretty sight. Not a pretty sight, Sam. I'll tell
They
you that
don't want to
much.
do that. They don't want to do that.
Crystal Palace counterattack looked pretty solid. And honestly, he didn't score goals or anything, but I guess did he get the assist? He did get the assist, I guess, technically. I thought Mateta actually played pretty well, but this is going to be something where he should excel against Branthwaite and Tarkovsky. It's kind of an ideal strength for strength matchup because his hold-up play in this game was pretty phenomenal for Palace to kind of get stuff going. Edouard, on the other hand, was not really cooking. Thought Wharton played pretty well in this game. Palace's first real chance fell to Lerma, and he completely fluffed it and skied it. It was not ideal, to say the least. But, yeah, and it was also kind of weird. Palace, in this one, had a back three of Richards, Anderson, and Joel Ward, but they really had a back five with Mitchell and Munoz as kind of the wing backs in there. So it's super defensive. But the Joel Ward is kind of like the third center back was something I hadn't really thought about or seen. Everton, as far as chances in the first half, Calvert-Lewin had one right before the first half. Header from probably 10 to 12 yards out. It was a bullet of a header just barely over the crossbar. Everton were very reliant on McNeil. Not really anything else other than that until Jack Harrison came on in the second half. Once Jack Harrison came on, you felt a little more like, okay, well, Everton might be able to get something going now that they have multiple kind of guys who can do something as far as cross the ball and pass the ball. So, other thing was Doucouré actually coming back for Everton playing this game. Wasn't really informed. Makes sense. He just came off of an injury. So it goes to halftime 0-0. Second half, a couple good chances for Everton. Garner had one that he ended up skying. But Palace, they open the scoring, Sam. They hoof it long. Mateta wins it. Goes down to Jordan Ayew. Outside the box, Jordan Ayew blast. How about that?
Ugh. You hate to see it.
How about that? Out of nowhere.
How does he keep doing it?
The world may honestly never know. The world may never know. Everton really piling it on. A lot of whipped in balls just trying to go for headers. And they do finally get one. Dwight McNeil swinging in. Onana ends up jumping above everyone, powering that home. And it finishes 1-1. Second half was a little better of a game to watch, but that first half, yeah, I guess pretty decent result for Palace given the fact that their coach had a major health scare. He resigned or they parted ways. Now they have a new manager coming in, so quite the week. They still walk away with a point. Everton, they got to start turning some of these draws into wins, Sam, especially the home games.
Yeah, draws not going to do you much good.
Especially if you have some other stupid thing hanging over your head,
True.
as far as a potential suspension. That's kind of what sucks about evaluating their season, because right now, mathematically, they would be 12th. But, they're not 12th, Sam.
Even
That's
then,
the
I
world we
mean,
live in.
Everton in 12th, that doesn't seem quite right. But
I think we forget the fact that they won like 5 out of 7 or something. They were kind of hot for a stretch, and that's all it really takes. I mean, that's what Southampton did for so long.
that's true.
You just get hot for like a month and a half. It's like, oh man, Everton, oh.
It's true.
But I mean, that's how West Ham might end up being. They got hot for 2 months, and that's why they are
Yeah.
where they are. But
But for Crystal Palace, I'm excited. The start of the Ole Glasner era.
Ole Glasner. Yeah, that's
Hopefully
that's a
some
huge
new
signing
life
for them.
into
That
the
is a
club.
huge signing for them. A lot of pedigree for them for a team that doesn't have, a ton, and they're still a younger team, and it's a pretty relatively young team at Frankfurt. So we'll see how it goes. I have faith. It's just a matter. They just got to spend just a little more in the
Yeah.
window. I find it really hard to believe that being up for a decade, you haven't found it to where you can be a little more sustainable by still spending more. It was very, very weird. But what do I know? I'm just a random lad out
I'm
here.
just Hank.
Yeah, pretty freaking much.
I'm just Hank.
This is true. I'm Knuff. Sam tells me.
Hank is Hank.
Hank
Cuff.
Knuff.
Hank
Hank
Cuff.
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 Yeah, well, in this next game we had City and Brentford. Thought this would be a tough game for City, and it ended up proving to be a pretty tough game for them, relatively speaking. It didn't come as easy as you would have thought. More of a defensive grind, I think, than most would have thought. I mean, the first 20 minutes, I wouldn't say it was all Brentford in terms of, the run of play and stuff, but they definitely had the best chances. I mean, Tony had a good free kick chance that he sailed just over the crossbar, and I forget who it was. Onyeka, maybe? He was one-on-one with Ederson. That might be like the worst guy to potentially have in a one-on-one situation. I don't know about that. I feel like if Arsenal just had Jorginho in a one-on-one, but then again, he's pen merchant, so he might score. But in oh, you know what the best part about this game was? For whatever reason, Ronald Koeman was there.
All right.
I don't know why he was there. Is he taking over for Pep? Pep's gonna leave and Ronald Koeman's gonna take over. Yeah, I think City's best chances. I mean, they had one shot from Alvarez that went wide inside 10 minutes, but after that, it wasn't until like the 35th minute where they hit up over the top ball that almost fell for. I think it was Silva. It was to Kyle Walker squared it for Silva. Akanji had a long range blast that Flecken had to tip over the bar. So, they kind of started to turn it on in this one as the half went on, but still nothing that great, and a lot more relying on the defense than I would have thought. I thought it would have been more City had to break down Brentford, but wasn't the case until like 10 minutes to go in the first half. And City kind of had it rolling. So halftime 0-0. Second half, this was like even worse. Like Brentford really were posted up and kind of had him pinned in, or not pinned in. They were just kind of low block, absorbing the pressure. Until the 70th minute, Sam, when a little slippage lets Erling Haaland one-on-one, and that is one guy you do not want to have one-on-one with your goalie. Christopher Ayer tips over, and that's all she wrote to make it 1-0 to City. Lovely ball by Alvarez up to Haaland, but mainly as the touch from Haaland to take it away from Ayer, and that was, like I said, about all she wrote. Man City do score again, but there's offside in the build-up play. Bowden had a chance at the very end to make it 2-0. Wasn't able to do it, but that was about it. That's all she wrote. So City grinded out this game, and like I said, a lot more on the defense than I would have anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to say about City? Are you still feeling super confident in them? You think that Chelsea and Brentford were just kind of weird?
I still feel
Weird
confident. I mean, I think it's okay to draw, a game like that against Chelsea. You grind out a win against
You
Brentford.
think
It
it's okay
happens.
to draw against Chelsea?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
think so. Chelsea are such a respectable club.
They're really the Robin Hood of, the footballing world. They just take points off the big teams and then give points to
save
the
us.
small teams like Gaz O'Neill and Wolves.
Save us, Chelsea.
God Bowley.
Bad Bole.
He's going to be at the cup final, apparently. I don't think Chelsea have ever won when Todd Bowley's been at a game. I have no proof of
He's
that,
gonna
but
parachute in.
he might. He might fly like the Blue Angels or whatever they're called over a game like it's an American football game.
Todd
Like it's
Bowley's out here flying a
the World
freaking
Series.
a B-2 stealth bomber.
Good meal. Let's get to the last one, Sammy. Liverpool, Luton.
Yeah, we finish off like we started.
Yeah, Liverpool.
4-1.
Yep. Yeah, how about that? Some things never change. Um,
Time is a
this
flat
game was
circle.
this game was kind of odd just because Liverpool are trying very hard to, I don't know, not necessarily counter, but very much like trying to just get behind Luton's back line with like kind of through the air and over the top balls. They're having success doing it. It just wasn't that they were finishing for the most part. Luton did have one or two pretty decent chances inside the first 10-15 minutes, one of which sailed wide, but the other one they scored on. Little gimme, little give and go, and Heath John rips it on net, deflects off Kelleher, back post, your boy Ogbene Sam. A little tap in. And this is Liverpool. That's what they do. They kind of fall behind, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Takes
So-
them 20 minutes to get into the game.
Yeah, it's very odd. Thought Harvey Elliott was pretty good in this game for Liverpool. He was just constantly making real nice runs from midfield. It was very much like a pass the ball to Luis Diaz kind of game and let him cook after Luton had scored. But I don't know. I thought Liverpool looked fine in attack once they got scored on, because then they stopped kind of going more over the top, started playing the regular kind of connected passes. But their finishing in the first half was just kind of not good. That's all it came down to.
Mm-hmm.
Goes in halftime 1-0 Luton. Second half, Liverpool really piling it on. A few chances inside 10 minutes, and then once you know it, Liverpool get a goal. Virgil van Dijk from McAllister on the corner. How about that? Makes it 1-1. And then instantly after, Cody Gakpo, Sam. He's back.
Cody Gakpo.
You believe in him?
Perhaps. I'm not
Perhaps.
sure.
It was really just a nice ball by McAllister, just absolutely like on his forehead.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
believe in McAllister.
I definitely do. That was a fantastic signing. And then Luis Diaz goes down. He gets a goal, and then it cuts to his dad in the crowd wearing the Luis Diaz kit with the black gloves on too. Short sleeve kit with the black gloves.
The
He's
Diego
full kit
Costa.
wanker, but for his dad. That's awesome.
That's glad.
Full kit dad out here. Really came off of a Luton turnover, which was not good, and then Luis Diaz just walks in and rips it. Kaminsky really had no chance. Honestly. Liverpool starting to fluff their chances too in the second half. Honestly, kind of got caught out once or twice late on. Could have been 3-2, but defense was pretty good. Just last ditch defending, throwing Luton off, and then big Harvey Elliott walks in, off a little spill and just curls it upper 90, perfection, makes it 4-1. Liverpool see their way out of it. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like last year you would say that Arsenal probably like kind of deserved the title if you had to say a team deserved it for the fact that they're in first place most of the year.
Not
That's
after
kind of how I
that
feel about
collapse.
Liverpool right now. Well, yeah, but when a team's in first place for most of the year, you almost feel like they deserve it. Doesn't mean that they obviously earned it, because you got to finish on top and stuff. But with how long Liverpool's been atop the league, it really feels like they're the best team this year. But again, like you said, it depends who ends the year hot. Just like last year, City ended the year hot, Arsenal didn't, and that's why City won the league. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know if Liverpool's people are like surprised too about Liverpool's injury luck and stuff like that. This was like a couple of years ago, and well, even last year for a chunk, where it was like Liverpool were getting hurt and people are like surprised. It's like these guys they have a lot of injury prone guys. It's just kind of how it is.
That's true. You just gotta kind of
So hope
stockpile
and
enough
pray,
that you can cover.
yeah, exactly. So we shall see. They're in first place right now by 4 points. City do have a game in hand, so I mean nothing's guaranteed, but really you would figure that they truly only have a 1 point lead over Man City.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Arsenal sitting back 1 point off City as well. They have a game in hand. And they play at the weekend. So let's get in to the weekend games, Sam.
Yeah. First one up, Aston Villa versus Forest. Both teams coming off a win. I think I still like Aston Villa, but I think it'll be a bit of a grind against Forest. It won't make it easy.
Forest, one of those teams that can really win a few in a row, though. I feel like they're below the threshold of like they can win a few in a row and put together results and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite on that.
No, that's what has me worried, because that's the thing we talk about with the really bad teams. It's like there's no way if Sheffield win one, there's no way they're winning for like the next 3 games. I have full faith in that. I don't think Force is like that bad, but for them to win back to back, like it's been a while since they've won back to back. But they also did beat Villa earlier this year at the City Ground. I would suspect that Villa go ahead, grab the victory. I'm gonna go with a juicy 3-1 victory.
I'm going to say 2-1 Villa.
All right. Yeah, last time Force won back to back was United and Newcastle, but before then they hadn't done it this year. So would you say 4-1?
2-1.
2-1. Brighton Everton. Feel pretty good about this one, and that's not a good thing, Sam.
I feel an upset.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh
when you
my.
least expect it. You say
See, that's
Brighton
why
coming
I
off a
don't
big
feel
win. Everton
that's
haven't
why
been very good.
that's why I don't feel great about this game, because I was
5-1
thinking
Everton.
happened last year.
It happened last year. I'm not actually calling 5-1, but I'll
Yeah.
say 2-1 Everton.
I just need Everton's midfield to be a little bit better than it's been. Just a little bit better to hang in there against Brighton. But Everton are going to be pinned in. They want to play on the counter. Brighton a little susceptible to the counter, especially as of late. I'll go 2-1 Brighton, but like you said, it would not shock me if Everton pulled this out. Palace Burnley. This is one disgusting game.
That is a disgusting game, but
They've played
at least it's
they've
the
played
start
15.
of the Ollie Glasner.
They've played 15 times. Palace has won 6, Burnley's won 6, and they've drawn 3. How about that?
Well, I think
Pretty
Palace
interesting.
are going to get a new manager bounce.
I agree. And I don't have any faith in Burnley. Even when Burnley win, it's like I don't care. You just chalk it up. You just chalk it up, say, hey, they won. It happens, but I just don't have you can't ever bank on it. Like when they
Yeah.
beat was their last win against like Fulham? Who was their last win against?
They drew, didn't they, against Fulham 2-2?
I know. I was thinking like Fulham at Craven Cottage. That's how long it's been. Maybe they've won since then, but I can't really remember. It was 2 days before Christmas. That was their last win. They beat Fulham at Craven Cottage. And they beat Sheffield on December 2nd. So since December 2023, they have 2 wins. And that's not saying much because I think they have only a handful this year. So, yeah, I'm going to go Palace 1-0. They'll find a way.
I'm going to say
I don't
2-0.
know. 2-0. I like it. What do we have next? We have Man U Fulham. Is this a stupid one? I don't think so, right? Because it's still February. Where Fulham just
Still February. Yeah.
total turd in the punch bowl. It's like Raul Jimenez somehow scores a goal. It's like, wait, he hasn't played for like 5 weeks. What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, United barely squeaked out a win against Fulham in the last game they played.
Yeah, but that wasn't United or February United.
That's true, and it was also at Craven Cottage, so
That
you know.
game hurt my eyes. I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go United with a 3-1 victory.
I'm gonna say United 2-0.
Bournemouth, Man City, another tough one. It's City getting all their. They just have to play like Crystal Palace next, and they got all their bogey teams out of the way. Bournemouth, Brentford, and then Palace. Those are like the 3 like not great teams that kind of give them troubles always. Even more so than some of the top 6 teams. After that, it's like Tottenham, I guess. What do you think about this game? What are you going to be looking for?
Well, I expect kind of a continuation of the grind out performance from City. I don't think it'll take as long to score as it did against Brentford, in the 70th or so minute, but I think they'll probably win 2-0, but it won't be, super dominant in terms of chances or anything, just more so dominant in terms of possession.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna say 2-1. I don't feel spectacular about how this game's gonna actually play out, like the style of it. I think it's gonna be a lot of City holding the ball, but typically Bournemouth don't always sit back and just try and counterattack. So, I could see Bournemouth kind of getting thrashed if they really expose themselves and try to have the game be open.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Newcastle.
Oh,
How you feeling
revenge.
going into this one?
Well, tough game midweek
Ramsdale
for
start?
Arsenal.
Ramsdale start? Why not? I thought this
Uh,
was about you rotate and see who's better.
Yes,
Not
right.
not we're just bringing in David Raya and he's gonna play no matter what now.
I don't think that'll happen. I think this goes one of two ways. Either Arsenal bounce back or they just kind of sputter out and look lackluster in kind of
I
a
think
continuation.
I think they bounce back, but I think they get absolutely like terrorist balled out of the Champions League by Porto. And then they can really make that title challenge.
Well, it was partly Porto, but also the referee was absolutely horrific.
I'm here to tell you I didn't watch any of that game.
You're lucky because it was a terrible game.
I was too busy watching Marko Arnautovic score a goal in the 80th minute. Meanwhile, my butthole was puckered the whole game for Inter while I was hoping that they would win. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see Newcastle might give it a go in terms of being like super physical and stuff. I just don't see how they're gonna be getting the goals in this one. I'm gonna go Arsenal 2-0.
I think there's opportunities for Newcastle, get in behind Arsenal if Arsenal pushes up.
I just
Ben
don't think
White's
their
kind of been
attack is
playing in a inverted role.
I just don't think their attack's in form enough. If I saw Harvey Barnes had been playing for a while and he was like showing me something, I have a little bit of faith. But their midfield is what's gonna kind of allow them to have a chance against Arsenal. If they can just kind of bully Arsenal in the middle of the field, but we shall see. I don't think your boy Kai Havertz should start this game. I'll tell you that much, unless he's just like more up top, or closer to up top.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you guys, Martinelli's got to start doing something.
Yeah, that is for sure.
What did you call for this game?
I think
Or
I'm
you're
going to
calling
say a 1-1 due to the midweek game. I think it'd be a little tired.
now? Okay. Wolves Sheffield.
Wolves, this is where they drop points to Sheffield again. Please
If you
don't
drop
do that.
points to Sheffield, who in 2 of the last 3 games have been 5-0'd,
Well,
I
they
don't know what to
handed
tell you.
them their first victory, didn't they?
Okay, they did say it, but let's think about this. One of the most obscene penalty calls of this season went against Wolves in that game.
I mean,
So
they had like 10 in a row. They ripped off.
I know it was brutal. Um, yeah, I mean, at the Molyneux too. There's a chance that this game goes like really bad again, and it's like 4-0, and Sheffield for whatever reason just like panic and fire Chris Wilder again. I wouldn't rule it out.
Don't do it. I'm
They're
going
a
to say 1-0
disaster club.
Wolves.
I'll say 2-0. I feel good about it.
Okay.
How's that the only Sunday game? By the way, what is that?
It's only 8 games.
I know, but one game on Sunday? Like, why couldn't this Monday game be on Sunday?
You got to put West Ham, Brentford, prime time, baby, 2 p.m.
All right, if you say so. What are you looking for in this one? By the way, 5 games played. Brentford's won all 5. How about
Well,
that?
I expect Brentford to win this one.
I know that's
I
what all
wanna
signs point to
see-
Brentford winning, and Brentford's plus 200, Sam.
I want to see a
That
pulse
feels
out
like
of West
printing
Ham.
money. It
Well,
doesn't. I mean, anything can
maybe
happen in the Premier League, but like, what?
maybe
It's
the
too
key
obvious.
maybe the key will be that Calvin Phillips literally cannot play in this game, and that'll be what turns it around for West Ham.
Very well could be. Or if like somehow Moyes is just like Zuma and Mavropanos and those guys kind of hold it together and actually play well. I don't know. Um, we'll see. Kudus just pops off. Little Maxi Cornet. Oh, also, I think we should like hold the funeral for our guy Danny Ings, who he came on last game too. He's just not a guy anymore, like at all. He should just not be out there. He's trying to go with like a Shane Long, kind of be an older striker kind of thing. I just don't think it's gonna work. I think he should be in the
Not on
championship.
West Ham.
Nothing. Well, first off, nothing works on West Ham. I'm sure if you put Bowen on any other team other than West Ham, he'd be amazing. Yeah, I'll go Brentford 2-1. And it's gonna be Ivan Toney to score first, and then it's gonna be 1-1. And I'll tell you who wins it, Sam, in like the 93rd minute. It's gonna be a Wisa special.
Oh, whoa, that's
He hasn't done anything in a while. I can feel it. I can feel it
cooking.
brewing.
It's cooking.
Yeah.
Wisa.
Yeah, Tommy Frank's been saving it.
Ugh. I think I'm gonna say 2-0 Brentford.
Okay, I like that. That sounds good to me. Any predictions from you?
Oh, my predictions. McTom doing the business against Fulham.
What are you gonna do with no Chelsea this weekend?
Yeah, that is a damn shame, isn't it? Maybe I'll just throw on an old game.
You got it. That's something I do. think about when the team was good.
Well,
Yeah,
by
big
old game, I
Carabao,
mean
big
earlier
Carabao
this
Cup.
season.
They can't compete West Ham and Brentford with that Carabao Cup final because Todd Bowley's
That's true.
gonna make that the new Super Bowl, pretty much.
That's true.
It's gonna make it a whole spectacle. All right, that'll wrap her up here at the Premiership Perusal. Anything else you need to say, Sam, before you go?
Yeah, I need to say one thing. Keep on perusing.
Adios, mis amigos.